Everyone's Big Dave. Welcome back. Today we have one that is important to me and it gets me sometimes a little emotional. So we'll go through it and see how we do. This one is you matter. You 100% matter. One of the things that really bother me is the lack of confidence I see in people, and it's growing. And I don't know the full reasons why it's growing, but I do know it can be fixed. It takes a lot of effort, takes a lot of work, but it can be fixed. And one of the things that my glasses still aren't clean, one of the things that um, fixes that is really the attention that you give it to you. See, I talk about this a lot. Where your focus goes, your energy flows. It's a Tony Robbins statement, and I don't think I'm going to get these clean. And why it's so important is, I'm sorry I'm distracted, but I really want these glasses clean. Is where your focus goes, your energy flows. And this is what's happening because everything you see right now out there is so divisive. And with social media, whatever you're clicking on, and who wouldn't be interested in clicking on things that are like, holy crap, what's going on? Regardless of any situation that you're looking at and where. I mean, it's just a normal thing. And then that your feed then gets more and more and more of that. And as you're trying to do it, all you see is this other stuff going on, and you get really distracted in your own self-improvement and what you're trying to do. And what I want to talk about really today is that you matter no matter what's going on within the world. And I want you to find your voice. And I want you to know that there's answers out there. And there's answers for you. It's just that the world's so different. It's hard to find them now and different. And like we really aren't teaching it in the same weird manner that like when I grew up, it was there, never taught, but there. But there was also never this huge array of information because there was so much, there was like these people that were experts. You would listen to them, move on because you had no other source. Now you got 16 other sources. It gets so convoluted and so confusing. You're like, what in the world do I believe in where? And how then do I believe in myself? Because as soon as I have an opinion, someone crushes me. Yeah. Oh, that's true. 100%. And you probably do get crushed sometimes. And then those feelings of emotion come out. You don't want to feel that. You don't want to feel like, holy crap, I just got blown up to bits. And what the hell was I trying to do? And then you doubt yourself. And then all these things come in and it's just not fun. And then that just feeds your focus into, I suck. And that is not true. You matter and everything that you do is important. And there's only one of you. I don't care what you're doing in life. There's only one of you. There's no other one, no other person in this world like you. And that's true. And you matter. Now let's see if what I talk about through my own journeys and my own opinions here, if these resonate with you. Let's begin. I'm going to start with just a question. When was the last time you believed in yourself? Not just when you're like, yeah, I hope it works out. No, that's not believing in yourself. That's hoping. When is the last time you believed in yourself? Yeah, I don't mean hoping and like hoping you knew you were capable of more. I want belief. I'm going to say this, that if you're between the ages of say 30 and 50 right now, maybe even a little older, you've done all the things that you thought were the right things. Like you put other people first. Um, you have been responsible, paid your bills. You have made sacrifices on behalf of others. You've been practical. You probably played it safe too along the way. I mean, how many of you that does that sound like what you've done? And probably a lot. Yeah, sounds like me too. So what happened during all that? What caused all that? You stopped hearing your own voice is what happened. Not because you're stupid. You've been busy surviving. Remember, this brain of ours is built to survive. So we got to consciously make it so that we hear and listen rather than just go into survival mode. Because survival mode takes over, man. That just goes back to instincts. And your brain just wins. And surviving in some of this chaos with dealing with emotion and everything else that's going on, that's been going on for Well, ever since social media is gaining more and more popularity, because now there's so many contrary opinions versus being only 4 or 5 different authorities and channels. So all of this creates chaos within our brain. Our brain's just trying to survive. Now, my opinion, what's happened is, because I can relate to some of this, most of it, is through all that, your voice was taken. You didn't give it up. It just was taken from you because of the chaos, because of you were just trying to be survived, not because you're weak. It was just taken from you because you're existing and no one's taught you any tools to deal with it. So here, my hope is we're going to rebuild your confidence, reclaim your voice, develop a mindset of growth, how you become better, and do the Simba thing. Remember who you are. Little Lion King thing for us there. Remembering who you are is so important because those are the values that you have for what you want, unique to yourself. Yes, you should challenge those values. Yes, you should listen to contrary opinions, but no, you should not be lost in a separate value system that you don't understand, that you don't want to be part of just because you think it's cool or it's what you think to be the end thing. That's not remembering who you are. You are who you are. That's just you. The world might tell you something different. So, right? Who are you? Once you accept that and you move forward, then answers will become simpler. And let's talk about this a little bit more, but yet different. So let's attack it from why your confidence goes away. And I want to talk about a lot of confidence because this is what I see out there with confidence. Confidence is there's people that have the fake confidence and they're over the top in your face yelling at you. They're really good at these one-liners that will shut you down. But they have no confidence in themselves. It's just there, just aggressive. Then there's people with no confidence and won't say anything. And as soon as there's any sort of confrontation, we'll just look away, look down, anything like that, because they're not really comfortable with their own voice, with who they are. And because they're not comfortable, they're afraid just to look at someone as they're being contradictory, avoiding of conflict. Now, I'm not talking about someone getting in your face with anger and yelling at you and in your face and the spits fly. And no, I'm not talking about all that stuff. I'm just talking about just general conflict of, as they go by, they say something or things like that. That just are general. I'm not talking about that's constant in your face. And I'm not talking, and the other thing I'm not talking about is you saying, I know who I am, and then go and get so angry that all your emotions are just taken over and no, that's not where I'm going with this either. And no one talks about this enough about where the confidence goes and how we get it back. And I don't see anything out there as to what's making you more confident in life. I mean, there's a few people trying to really help, but I don't see people really focusing on confidence itself. And it's a tough one because it's only comes from within. And my hope is that I can inspire enough people to start to look at themselves and get real confidence. Because when you do, life is just a lot better. Now, nothing's perfect, so don't think that, but life just becomes a lot better. When you first are in your 20s and things are going moving forward, you think everything's possible or you think everything's not possible. It's one of the two ways. And you're just like gung-ho on either one. And then reality sets in. You got bills. You got friends that betray you. You found love and then it betrayed you. You found love and maybe you had kids and then now you're struggling to figure out how to make it work. And you're like, wait, I find all this wonderful things that I wanted and now I'm like barely making anything work. Health gets in our way. Health changes, health stuff, all of that comes out and impacts you. And now your confidence just goes poof. But say divorce maybe happens, layoffs, work, get fired. Now your confidence just, and then from there you just fall apart. And now you're trying just to build yourself back up again. Burnout. What's another one? You're working so much, you haven't put any time for yourself, and you work, are out. And why did you work? Well, because you had no confidence in yourself, and that's the only thing you felt confident in. So what happens when these things occur in your life? This is what happens. Your confidence starts to go away, and you replace it with caution. You got to be cautious because your mind wants you to be nothing but safe. And then caution becomes your new programming. And when caution becomes your new programming, you're no longer willing to accept any risk. And risk is a part of life, and you want that. Now, too much risk is bad too, but not enough is probably worse. If you start saying things like, I should be thankful for where I'm at, or you start saying things like, it's too late now, or maybe you start saying things around the way of, it's just how it is. There's a lot of things that all of that may be true, but for your self-confidence, it's never true. If you're a professional boxer and you're 45 years old, it's probably too late for that. I mean, you could go in and do some of the older leagues, but you're not going to go and fight a 25-year-old and win. It's just physical. So there are things that all that's true. When it comes to your self-confidence, none of that's true. At any time, you can fix that. At any time, you can change your life and change that. It just is here that you got to work on. And it doesn't mean it's easy when it comes to this thing. But effort goes a long way. Consistency goes a long way. Confidence, think about it. When you're a kid, you got confidence. You're like, you'll just jump over that whatever and try it. It don't matter. And you fall, you get up, it don't hurt, and go. Hell, when you get older, you jump over it, you fall, you twist your ankle, break your knee, it hurts, and you're like, I ain't doing that crap again. Well, through all that time, you became more cautious. And then your self-confidence goes into caution rather than confidence in yourself. Getting your own voice back becomes the challenge because you're not trusting your instincts. And typically your instincts are good. But now you're trusting your brain in a survival mode. I hear it like I missed my chance. No, you didn't. It's still here. Like, let's say from a work standpoint, let's say right now you're 48 and broke. Your chance is still here. In this very society, your chance is still here. You can still do it. Your chance isn't gone. I want to hear that crap. You're saying that things like, I'm too old to start. It's the same thing. You're not too old. If you want to do it, do it. You can. I mean, me just getting out here and posting the videos and pain in the butt because I have no idea what I'm doing technology, but I'm doing it. I'm stepping out and stepping up. You can do it. Other people are better. I've heard this one a lot too, and I've thought it. And that might be very true because they practice more than you have. The other thing is you actually might be better, but you can't see it. It could be true too. How do we know? You're just looking at it because you're used to seeing them and you don't have confidence in yourself. You have confidence in them. I'm talking about developing your confidence back here to you, who you are. And confidence is a skill. True statement, but some people think it's a personality, but it's not. It's not a personality at all. Confidence is a skill that you can learn and grow into. It's something that your mind can be trained to do if you allow it. Now, remember, your mindset shapes your reality. That's important. Your mindset is where reality comes from, which is the same thing as saying when your focus goes, your energy flows. If not the same, extremely similar. Your mindset, if it's always negative, seeing the crap, it's a crappy world, and I have no opportunity. If your mindset says there's opportunity in this, you will see the opportunity. That's how it works. It's really that simple. Not so simple to do, but it is in its fundamental piece. It's that simple. So if it is that simple, you're going to think, well, why can't I do this? And here's the answer. The answer is you can do it. You can. And you know how you can do it? You can do it by being 100% focused on seeing the opportunity. And I'm going to give you some skill sets right now on what you can do. Things you can practice. Things that if you do it for 90 days, you will see yourself improving in confidence. If you stop after 90 days, you will see yourself probably losing confidence again. This isn't something you can work on for 90 days and stop, because the world takes over. Some people may be blessed enough they can, but for most of us, no. That's not how it's going to work. Another misconception is your voice's volume, how much you spout. Well, that might be great for some social media clicks. That might be great for getting attention, but that's not good for self-confidence. The voice isn't volume, all right? Finding your voice is more about your opinions, boundaries, your standards, your truths. What are they to you? Do you know them? If you don't, first advice would be write them down. What are your opinions on things? Write them down. What are your truths? What are your boundaries overall? What are your standards? And heck, if you just list 3 of the 4 or 2 of the 4 and list them so you know what those are, and you start thinking about it. Is this what mine is? And this is okay. It's a starting point. Get to know who you are again. Things may have changed from what you thought your standards and stuff were, and they're different now. That's okay. Who are you? Write it down. It's there. You know who it is. No one else has to see it. Rip it up and burn it if you have to. Throw it in the garbage. If you're afraid other people to see it, make sure you know it. Because you won't be afraid to have other people see it once you're confident. But for now, as you're learning, if that's what you got to do, you got to do it. When you're trying to get your voice back, what happens often is it gets taken away like right away. Like immediately as you're trying to get your voice, the world comes, grabs it, goes, brings it right back to them. And it's because like you don't want to rock the boat. So maybe you're out in a setting and someone brings something up and you have your opinion, and now you're like, maybe I'm a little comfortable in doing it. And you say it, and someone wants to just rip it down and go blah, blah, blah. And you're immediately like, and you lose your voice again because it goes safety, 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 safety. You don't want to upset people, because if you upset people, then there's conflict. You don't want to feel that. Let's just keep the peace and just like, we'll just go along the way. This gets touchy because what the message I don't want to send to people is that you got to give your opinion all the time. You don't. Plenty of people don't deserve to hear your opinion. But you need to know what yours is, and your voice is within you. So when I say voice, your voice doesn't necessarily mean that you're saying words. It can, and you can, when you're confident enough, but your voice knows inside, this is what I stand for. This is who I am. You don't have to necessarily speak it right away, but you need to know what it is. So I just don't want you to think that this means you got to go start arguing, because that's what it'll turn into if you're not with the people that are like-minded. But you do need to know where you stand on it, and it's okay for other people to have other opinions. They don't need to have the same opinion as you, but you need to know where you stand for your confidence. How do you do this? Let's give you some steps. The first thing is just try to start with one truth a day that you're speaking to yourself, and say it out loud. It's to yourself. One truth, right? And just speak it. Once you start doing that and you get comfortable with your inside voice, then I want you to in the business world, at work, with family, speak one opinion. Just one. See how it goes? Does everybody have to agree with you? No, don't think that. But I want you to speak it. If you're at work and let's say you are a data analyst and you're afraid to say something, just speak it. Once you have thought internally about what your opinion is and why your opinion is. Remember, the why is important. Your first one is tell one truth to yourself a day. The second one is once you're comfortable there, speak your opinion in a meeting, maybe with a family member. And I'm not saying you need to go right into major conflict. Please don't. You're learning. Just have an opinion on something. Have it minor. I like the blue over the red. Where before it'd be like, what do you like? What do you want? Hey, where do you want to go to eat tonight? Oh, I want to go to this new steakhouse. Not wherever you want to go. So it can be something as simple as that, to speak one opinion, right? For some of you, you're like, I do that already. Great. Do more of it. Go to the next level where you speak your opinion. For those of you who won't, start there. Everyone's going to be at different levels of confidence. And remember, everybody's going to be bringing you down and the world's going to feel like it's attacking you, and it's not, but that's how you're going to feel. Just a few people might, but it's not the world. Most people are so supportive. It's just those 20% maybe aren't, but that means 80 are. Just the ones that aren't like to use their voices more. And those are the ones typically with confidence issues. So how does my message is this, is that your voice comes back through actually using it. I know that's hard to grasp. And some of you may go, I can't do that. You can. You matter, man. Everybody's got a skill set. Everybody. And your opinion, the wonderful thing about your opinion and once voiced, if you're not defensive and you're listening, you might just learn more about why your opinion matters or why your opinion should change. If you're not being defensive, if you're not just over yelling on somebody, if you're not just going and attacking and you're listening and you're having a conversation, you might just learn something. The worst case scenario is you learn why your opinion matters more. The best case scenario is you might have found holes in your opinion. Now you got to think through it. Do I need to change my opinion on this? Or now can I fill the gaps in why my opinion matters? Which one? But if you're too busy arguing your point, saying you're right, I don't think you have the confidence you need. And that's why everyone argues so much, is they don't have confidence in themselves and they get all upset. Why? Learn. Most people have valid reasons for why they feel that way. Most, not a lot. Well, how do I say that right? Most, not all. No, I said it right. Is that most people have, in their eyes, a valid reason why they believe it. And then they get all emotional and they don't listen to anyone else. And then if anyone else challenges them, they're going to bite back rather than understand why they're being challenged. It's a healthy debate that's been around forever, but we've lost that. And then when you lose that, you can't really build true confidence. And then what comes throughout true confidence is this false sense of arrogance, this false sense of no one else's opinion matters, this false sense of now I'm just going to sit back and just go, whoa, this is too much. And none of that is really attacking your self-confidence in a way that matters to you. Now, I'm not a proponent of going out and yelling and screaming and all this stuff. I'm not. And I'm not ever saying that's your voice. Your voice is what you believe, and the confidence in that, in within yourself, is where that confidence comes from. Because as soon as they fight each other and you doubt, you're going to go back into survivor mode and your brain's going to go, whoop, safety, and then go right back into, oh, too risky. I'm just not going to have an opinion. I'm going to stay out of this. And No problem staying out of something because that could be a wise choice. But you should have your opinion on it. Big difference there. See it? So when you're learning and growing confidence, you're not saying, this is who I am. You're saying, this is who I am going to become. Ooh, dropping my pen. See that mindset difference? This is what I'm going to become is the mindset that works. Things that I've learned and I still work on is I am statements. Because I'll say things like, I'm bad at this, and I am. But I know that I'm bad at it now. If I put effort in, I could get good, okay, in some cases, great. But I have limitations, and just those statements alone put limitations on myself. But the limitations that we know we have aren't necessarily the limitations we truly have. The limitations we put on ourselves. A lot of people think their strengths are their strengths, and they're not. How many times have you heard someone sing that thinks they're great, and you're like, oh my God, stop. I have. But in their mind, they thought they were good at it. Well, we all have these type of things that we think we're good at that we're really not. And we all have things that we could be good at that we say we're not good at. All because we're not paying attention and having the confidence within ourselves to look at the reality of things. Look at it this way. To build confidence, you need to build evidence for your brain to get out of safety mode. And in order to do that, you have to be able to first know where you stand and what you think you stand for. Write those things down that we talk. I'm not sure the right way to express this one because it sounds to a lot of people just dumb, but micro wins matter. So like one way that I'd suggest to start on this is little things like, I'm going to make my bed every morning and I'm going to make sure every dish is clean by the end of the evening, and just start there. Now that's confidence. That's building confidence. Little micro wins. I am going to work out 3 days a week, and you actually do it. Will start to build your confidence. I am going to eat a certain way and do it every day. And that's going to build your confidence because your brain's going, hey, I can do this stuff. And then you can go to more aggressive things like writing down, what's your opinion? Why is it your opinion? Don't forget the why. If you just say, what's my opinion? And you don't answer the why my opinion is that, you really don't have an opinion, right? You're just repeating what you think someone else said. Why is your opinion that? That why is what fuels you. The secret's in the why. In other words, so much of us have opinions that we've been conditioned to believe. But the confidence comes from the why do I believe? And most people can't answer that. So the little micro stacks of what I suggested, I would say start there. And then go into writing down your opinions, your standards, your truths. And then from there, why? And then you can start saying, speaking up and having opinions in a meeting, in a conversation. We're all humans, so inconsistency is part of the deal. But you want to be as consistent as possible and as close to 100% as you can. Now, if you start at 20% consistency and get to 50, great job. But don't sit there and go, oh my God, I'm only 50% consistent. No, you did great. Now let's go to 60. Now let's go to 70. You'll get there. And that's true with all the things that we're working on. Perfection ain't real. No one is perfect. The only thing that's real is our constant effort to self-improve requires us to constantly pursue it. Self-respect is another one that gets in people's way. And what I mean by that is just don't tolerate what drains you. If there's things in your life that are draining you completely out of you, cut them out. Because for you to go and attack you got to get that out of there because you've got to take your energy into defining your whys. And having the respect for yourself is that way, is just take yourself out of that. Now, If you have a job and you need to pay the bills, you best figure out how to deal with that before you decide to quit, not be able to pay the bills. So there's exceptions to that rule. But if there's friends and people in your lives that drain you, not your job, cut them out. And if it is your job, go interview for a new one or find out why it's draining you and reverse it. Because that's a mindset too. Preparation is important. And that's why the why is so important. And then ownership is my last piece on this. You own it. No one else does. So when things happen and all of a sudden some person comes and just blasts you on your opinion, and you go, oh my God, but Gary said this or Nicole did this. So that's on you. You gave up. They didn't. All you had to do is keep going forward. So what if your opinion got blasted? Who cares? What harm did it do you in that particular situation? Pretty much none, other than mentally your body wants to go back to survival and give up. But if you own it and go, no, I'm going to continue working on this, and I am going to be the person who can have this conversation, you will be. I am going to be the person who makes the bed immediately every day. I am the person who's going to write in a journal every day. I am going to be the person who is now eating better. I am going to be the person who is going to work out. All of those things stack. They stack. And when they stack, your confidence starts to build. And when your confidence starts to build, it goes forward. But the moment's going to happen where all of a sudden your confidence is going to just get attacked because the world's going to attack it. And you have to own it that no, you're not going to let it stop you and you're going to keep going forward. And you're going to find most people, if you think that way, are going to support you through it. And the ones who don't, cut them out, right? You can still love them. They're just not going to be important to the conversations you want to have. Right now, if you're thinking I'm too old, if you're thinking I can't do this, if you have lost your confidence, if you're like, I'm afraid to speak up and I think I am smart enough to have an opinion and I want my opinion to be heard, but I won't do it. If you're someone who sits there and just puts their head down and internally is like, I'd like to have a discussion, but I really don't want to feel embarrassed. If you're someone who is struggling to have confidence in themselves, I'm telling you right now, you can overcome it. Just you. It's all that you need is you. You don't need anyone else, just you. You're good enough. You're more than enough. You're talented enough, and you can overcome it. How do you overcome it? You overcome it by everything we just talked about. Start with micro-stacking. Move on to defining your opinions and your whys, your truths and your whys. Then start practicing and own it so that when people do destroy you or you felt destroyed, it doesn't stop you from your growth process. These things are all important. And the other part is you might destroy yourself because you're like, oh my God, you can't do that either. You got to own this. I am going to be the person who does whatever you want to be doing. You need to be saying those things. The talent that you have, I know is there. I know the wisdom you have is there. The experience, the purpose, it's all there. You have value. You do. You have lots of value. You're sitting there, you have value. Your voice matters. Your dream matters. The things you want to achieve matter. So let's do a brave thing and start the process of building your confidence. Take these tools, use them and start acting. Microstack with simple things to get your brain ready. Simple things, making your bed, washing dishes, getting the dishwasher loaded, ran and put away, cleaning the house once a day, once a week, whatever your thing is. And just make sure you do it so you're not lying to yourself and confidence starts to build. Those micro things, you'll see if you do it for 2 weeks and you're consistent, you'll see a confidence difference. It'll be there and other people will see it. Then you keep stacking those on top of other things we talked about. You start going and doing now one brave thing a week that you would consider brave. Now, again, don't go out and jump into the wildfire, but do something brave. have an honest opinion about something you do as simple as where you want to go to eat, what type of food you like, what movie you want to see, whether or not the movie was good, whether someone you think's a good actor. Have an honest opinion, not just what other people think. Your own. If this speaks to you at all, if anything I've said at all speaks to you, please like and share and do all those things. I don't even know what they all are for how social media deals with this stuff, but like it, share it, comment, all those wonderful things. Help me spread this message. I'm going to be doing some things along this line, trying to do it. Everything I do is about self-improvement, and it's about my journey and how I relate my journey along the way. And I can get into specifics on any of the things, but honestly, these things are already like 40 minutes long, 30 minutes long. And I'm not sure how much farther I should go, but if we need to go deeper into personal experiences, I do it. I have a bunch of things on weight loss that are posted that are very personal, and all of my challenges. I have a whole lot of things on improvement, leadership improvement, self-improvement, emotional intelligence, all that I do teach. And it's all out there for free. It's none of it's a paid system. Maybe one day I'll do something with that, but right now it's just all out there for free, and trying to get my content down on video and share all the things that I've learned with my own personal experiences. And that's what I'm after. So I'm hoping that all of you, that this impacts you in some way in a positive light. I hope that it helps. I hope that things can change. If you're sitting there and your voice is not heard and you want it to be heard, man, I want to hear it. I want to hear it. And I'm hoping that your confidence builds. I'm hoping that you just continue to go. And I know it will if you do it and stay consistent and start really believing in yourself, because I don't like seeing where our confidence level is. And I don't like seeing that people don't have confidence, because you should, and you're all wonderful people. Everybody at their core, I really think is, when I say everybody, I should say almost all. There are, of course, some people out there that are not, but almost everybody really is at their core wonderful and have great intentions and want to do things that are good and help and all of that. And I truly believe that. And I just want to unleash that within you so that your confidence comes forward and you start achieving whatever it is in life that you want to achieve. That's all I have. And if you have opinions or questions on what you want to hear about, or me go into more detail, please just comment, send me a message, whatever that is. All right. Thanks, everyone. Later.